All right, so in this video, we're going to be going over a website that I use in my language learning journey called Tatoeba. I think that's how it's pronounced, Tatoeba. But as you can see here on the front page of the website, it basically sums it up what it's all about, which is that it's a collection of sentences and translations. You know, it's completely free to use. They are open to volunteers, so anybody can contribute. And I mean, the addictive part, I mean, that may be a bit subjective. You know, that depends on the person. But yeah, a lot of people do use the site on a fairly regular basis, whether just for looking up sentences or contributing to the platform itself. So as you can imagine, this platform supports a bunch of different languages. So if we go here, browse by language, there's 426 languages on Tatoeba. So unsurprisingly, English is the biggest one with over a million, over 1.9 million sentences. You know, then you got Russian, Italian, you know, Esperanto. So if you're a person that's interested in learning more about Esperanto, Esperanto actually has a fairly active community here. There are quite a few people that do share sentences on Esperanto, and yeah, it's actually one of the most popular ones, which is pretty cool. And you see here we got German, French, and so on. So here, if we click down here, we can look at even more of the sentences that it has. So you know, it has a pretty good range. Like, it also has quite a few different planned languages, like constructed languages, like Tokipona, for instance. You know, so it's definitely a great platform. So pretty much no matter what language that you're studying, it's very likely that the language already exists here on Tatoeba. So one of the things that I like to use Tatoeba for is, like, if I'm working with one of my languages, whether it's like Spanish, French, or Esperanto, and I want to get an idea of like how a particular word is used, I can type that word in here and I can see how people have used that word in a sentence. So, you know, just to give you guys a quick example, let's just say, I don't know, Felicio, which basically means happiness in Esperanto. So once I type that in, you know, it comes up with 620 results. And another thing too, which is pretty nice, is that you can also refine your search. So you can have it show translations in a particular language. You could choose the length of the sentence that you want to get. You can choose whether or not the sentence has audio. So audio will actually be coming to the audio part a little bit later, whether it's on a particular list. Like one of the things that they do with organizing the sentences in Tatoeba is they have like a bunch of different lists. So if there's a particular list that you're looking for, then you know you can choose it there. So yeah, so it definitely offers a lot of capability as far as like searching for different words or like phrases and whatnot. Another thing too, like I did mention a little bit about the audio, is that not many, but yeah, I would say many of the languages here do have audios that are associated with it. Now, when it comes to submitting audio on Tatoeba, like they have a very particular process as far as how that's done. So that's something you would have to look into a little bit more. But you know, unsurprisingly, you know, English has the most audio, and Esperanto is actually third place. You know, over 68,000 sentences has audio, which is pretty nice. So ideally, like the person recording audio should be a native speaker or a near native speaker. But yeah, if you want to not only read a sentence, but you want to hear like how the sentence should sound, you can use Tatoeba as a great reference for that. Yeah, they also have a very big community. You know, community is definitely very huge when it comes to Tatoeba. So here you can check for native speakers. So you can see like the amount of native speakers for each language. Another thing too, like when it comes to Tatoeba, like when people go and submit sentences to the platform, ideally you want to be a native speaker or like a near native speaker of the language. That's what they recommend. But unfortunately, not everyone who submits sentences in a particular language has a high level. So that's, I would say, is probably one of the negative aspects about Tatoeba. The fact that anybody can submit sentences. There are going to be a good amount of sentences that are just like wrong or inaccurate, or you know, don't sound natural and stuff. So that is something you do have to be aware of. But despite that, it is still a pretty valuable resource. Like you can see here, there are a ton of native speakers. So one thing, like a pro tip that I would recommend when it comes to using Tatoeba, is that when you're looking at sentences, you want to check and make sure that the person that's recommending the sentence is someone that's a native speaker of the language. I believe there is a setting somewhere that allows you to do that, but I'm not quite sure what that is at the the moment. But in any case, that is something you can try to do as well. So here, like, you can join the community. So signing up is pretty simple. Username, password. You choose your native language, accept the terms. Another thing though that you might want to be aware of when you're working on Tatoeba and submitting sentences is that once you go and you contribute the sentence to Tatoeba, you're not allowed to delete it. Like it's just going to remain there unless like there's a reason to delete the sentence, maybe like it's a duplicate sentence or something like that. For the most part, like once you go and you submit a sentence, then it's more or less the property of Tatoeba at that point. So that is something you do want to be aware of, like when you're on the platform. Like, you don't necessarily own what it is that you contribute. Like by contributed, like you're by definition giving away the rights to that sentence. But in any case, you shouldn't let that deter you from the whole project. I do think this is a very positive project overall. As you can see here, like one thing that's nice, like on the front page, like you just generate a random sentence, so you can look at the sentence. You can check out like the different translations that exist across a variety of different languages. So it's a pretty cool place. Like I think it definitely could be super helpful. You see there's downloads as well. Like you can like download sentences or download specific pairs. So everything is basically open. So like if you have a particular project that you're working on, then you can use the data from Tatoeba as part of your project. I mean, you do have to attribute to them, of course, but beyond that, that is something you can do. You could definitely like have a lot of fun with this. And also Closemaster, actually, if you're familiar with the app Closemaster, I actually did a video about that if you want to check out more about it. Some of the sentences that they use, well, actually a good amount of the sentences actually comes from this platform, which they attribute to. So, that's just a little fun fact for you there. So yeah, like I think this is definitely a great platform. Like if you're someone that's learning a language and, you just want to check out like some words to see like, or check out to see how words are used in a particular language, or just get an idea of like model sentences to use in that language, this is definitely a great place, to take a look. And also at the same time, because they offer translations, like a lot of these sentences have multiple translations, you can see how people would phrase things in different languages. So if you're someone like me who wants to learn more than one language at some point, then this is definitely really useful to have, because you can see like how different languages compare when it comes to expressing certain ideas. Like here for English, is put medicine out of the reach of children. And in Esperanto, one of the possible translations is metu la sanigilon exer la atingon de infanoi. You know what I mean? Okay, that probably wasn't the best pronunciation, but just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea. But yeah, like it's definitely a great platform. I highly recommend just checking it out, playing around with it. But yeah, but if you have used this platform before, definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. Love to hear what you guys think about it, or how useful that you found it. But yeah, that's all I got today for this video. This is Jacob Laguerre, and I'm signing off. Peace.